Ladies and gentlemen, live from the Rockabessa Hitchin Hearts UK in association with Bloodfire Studios and AJLR Media, welcome to the Big Debate Show. I'm your host, the judge, and I feel kind of sad today because this is the end of season 1. But before I say anything else, let me just introduce once again Anna.
Hello.
Nice to have you on the show again.
It's nice to be on the show.
I think this one is a good topic to end season 1 with. Now, my viewers, you must be thinking, oh no, what's going on? Why is the show ending? We will be back in 3 weeks' time on the 4th of May. But I'll tell you a bit more as time goes on, but I'm going to go straight into it. For all my viewers who have just tuned into the Big Debate Show, is it hard to find a good relationship these days? That's tonight's topic. Is it hard to find a good relationship these days? Now, let me just say this to all my viewers. Don't waste time. This is the last show for 3 weeks. If you've got something to say, pick up that phone, text in, whatever you got to do, don't hesitate. On tonight's show, is it hard to find a good relationship? Now, before I turn to Anna, I want to say this. I find out that a lot of people are very fussy these days. It seems like they don't just jump in. They take their time. It's like they've got a lot of boxes. And I'm going to turn to you, Anna, and I'm going to ask you this. Why? What do you think? Do you think it's hard to find a good relationship these days? What's your take on that? What do you think?
The thing is, I think that a good relationship is defined differently between each individual. And yeah, people do have a box to tick because I guess it's different stages in their life. There may be people that have been in only one relationship. However, it doesn't necessarily just stay in one pace. They learn and grow together. But then there are people that have several relationships. But again, people shouldn't compare one relationship to another because everybody has difference of opinion as to what a good relationship is. And to be honest, I think there are people out there, and it's more to do with people perceiving whether your relationship is good. Because do you enter a relationship and automatically go, this is a good relationship?
I think you feel it. I mean, as you get older, with experience, and growth, you can tell if you're in a good relationship.
Let me ask you, do you have a box ticking list?
Well, I haven't got a box now because I'm a married man.
Did you in the past?
In the past, of course, I won't say I had a box because, I've spoke to a lot of people about this, and it's like to say there's a whole heap of things they're looking for, and they're not gonna settle unless this person ticks this box and that box. I think they're gonna run out of ink. Now, my viewers, if you just tuned in, we're talking about, is it hard to find a good relationship these days? If you've got something to say on tonight's debate, don't hesitate. The number to call is 07818 361 551. 07818 361 551. But if you don't want to talk to the judge and Anna, if you're a little bit on the shy side, don't worry. Facebook or Twitter, The Big Debate Show. But on Twitter, leave out the W. Anna, good. Is it hard to find a good relationship? Don't you think that there's people out there who are listening in right now? Me personally, sometimes I think people put their hat a little bit too high, that they can't reach it.
Can you define what a good relationship is?
Me? All right, I'm gonna...
Come on, Judge.
All right then. I will say this, and I say it to my viewers. I personally think a good relationship is one that you don't have to work at. It just comes natural. And I'm talking about experience, what I've been through. I think when you don't have to you can be in the room and you don't have to think about things to say. Everything just comes natural. But when he's saying good, what is good? What is good, Anna? You know, I mean, you've got to be happy. You know, that person that you're with.
So, when you meet someone, you can't identify whether that person's going to have a good relationship with you straight away. You have to have some form of chemistry first.
Chemistry.
Okay. So, wouldn't you say to define a good relationship for each couple, it possibly growing and developing together as a unity, as a union?
Yes, it takes time. It does take time. And I don't know if the viewers out there, I don't know if you guys are in a relationship or you're looking for someone, but I think there's too many boxes. People want this, you know. A woman wants a man that can do this, he can do that, he can do this, he can do that. And I think
we're getting some
we're getting
comments.
some,
Let me
go on. We're
right,
getting some
what
texts.
we got here?
We're getting some comments already.
I know, we're just getting some likes on the actual topic itself.
Oh, well, that's good. Bring the likes too. Now, to all my viewers, if you've just tuned in, is it hard to find a good relationship these days? What do you think? Is it hard? I'm going to say this to you, Anna. Before I was married, I mean, all my close friends settled down. And for 3 long years, I will tell you something personal about me. I found it very hard to find a relationship. I mean, I'm not the world's most...
Would you say you were fussy then?
I wasn't... When you say fussy, there's 2 types. You got the fussy where you might just want a little fun, and some people might not be that fussy. But when it comes to settling down and say, this is my woman, yes, I wasn't the type of man to just say, this is my woman, unless I really mean it. So, of course, I had to be a little bit on the fussy side.
Do you think it's hard to have a good relationship if you have a reputation of sleeping around?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know, because you know what? Tell me if I'm wrong or right. I heard a lot of good girls like a bad man.
Yeah, no, I was talking to one of my friends about this, and that's very true. I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, a lot of good girls like a bad man. They like that rough and tumble kind of guy. You know, the one who can lead them.
Yeah,
you know?
But then it comes to that point where they almost want them to change. Like, what's that about?
Wait, you found a guy who was bad, you know, who had a reputation, but you like that about him, you like that cheekiness about him, and now you want him to change? No, women. No. What you see is what you get. And I'll tell you something, we've got our first caller in already, that's it. What is your name?
I'm not really want to give my name. I just want to remain anonymous.
That's fine. That is cool by me. What we'd like to say on tonight's topic?
Well, I was listening to what you were saying about what's a good relationship, and I think it's not so much these days in terms of what happens now. I think in any time, I think finding a good relationship is always going to be hard. So I just think in terms of it being a tick box exercise or it being, finding the right person, I just think that it's not really about it being time specific. I think.
So you don't think
in terms of relationships lasting, it's always going to be hard to find the right one. And you always have to look at longevity of relationships. So you don't get longevity of relationships that much anymore. So.
Can I ask you this? Are you in a relationship right now?
I think that's just in terms of just that point. I just wanted to just sort of stipulate that point. I think
Okay.
that's all I really wanted to say on the show. But I'm really,
Fair enough.
enjoying the day. And
No, that's
good
cool.
stuff, yeah.
That is cool. Thank you for phoning in. I really
Okay,
appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He was kind of stating that it's not necessarily about nowadays. I think he was saying that it's hard in general, no matter how, no matter what time of, whether it's modern time or in the past. I think he was basically saying it's hard to find the one or the one person to have a relationship with.
I've heard a lot of women. Anna, say this. It's hard to find a good man. I've heard that. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing it. It's hard to find a good man these days. Yeah? And I will say this. I'll spin it. Sometimes it's hard to find a good woman. Now, it all depends where you're looking. If it all depends where you're going, and it's a bit of luck too, Anna. You can dress up. I could imagine when you dress up, you look nice. You got a lovely smile.
You don't think I'm dressed up now?
No, you're dressed up now. You are dressed up now, but when you dress up to go out.
Okay.
Yeah? Even though you look good on the Big Debate Show, when you go out. And sometimes when you have it in your mind, it'd be nice to find someone. Sometimes it doesn't happen like that. And sometimes it's when you least expect it. When you're just out with the girls and you're not on that kind. You find that person. But to say it's hard, yes, it is hard. But I think it all depends what type of relationship you want.
I think people have a feeling when they meet someone whether they're going to be good for them or not. They have to. However, I think once you're in that relationship, personally for me, a good relationship involves these ingredients. It personally for me. So respect, consideration, communication, I think they're just quite general stuff.
So why are people finding it so hard these days, Anna? Why is so many good men can't find a good woman, and how come so many good women out there can't find a good man? The number to call is 07818 361 551. You're live on the Big Debate Show. The Judge and Anna. It's nearly 15 minutes have gone already. We've got our first caller. Don't hesitate. If you've got something to say, this is the last show of season 1.
I was expecting a female to call first, in fact.
I think they're kind of shy tonight. I'll be surprised if there's a female out there who's willing to phone in the show. I think they're going to sit back and just listen in.
See, again, everybody has a different definition of what a good guy is and what a good girl is. Because I don't entertain guys that are bad-minded or that are rude to me or, if you entertain those type of guys or girls, then you would expect some level of disrespect in a relationship anyway. I try to gain that sort of that sort of criteria between friends in general. My relationship with my friends, there has to be respect, there has to be trust, honesty, and I would like to transfer that into my relationship as well, like with a guy.
Yes, true, very true. We've got another caller. Hello, welcome to the Big Debate Show.
Welcome, man. How you doing?
I'm fine. You wouldn't mind me asking your name, please?
Yeah, that's no problem. My government name, my performance name.
Whatever name you want to give.
No, it's Lionheart.
Lionheart, okay. What would you like to say on tonight's show, Lionheart?
So far, I'm enjoying the show, man. I'm enjoying the show. I wasn't too sure of the previous caller, but I'm 100% with both of your points. It's very, very two-sided in this argument. Like, the reason I believe it's two-sided is because everyone has their unique criteria that they need filled up. When it comes to relationship, like, people can't just think it's only one person that's deciding whether or not this is a good relationship. It's two people. True. So you need to, one, not just tick off your boxes. They need to tick off their boxes for it to be a good relationship. Now, in the context of the situation, is it hard to find a good relationship? It's hard to find someone who can actually cope with you and you cope with them. That is the task. I don't actually think this is the relationship as an issue. I think it's hard to find someone who's compatible with you, as well as you trying to grow personally yourself with that person.
Okay, and it sounds like it's a lot of ticks, you know, because if you're saying that two people have their own boxes to tick, there's a lot of ticks going on there, Lionheart, and it sounds like it's a tough one. Relationships these days, it sounds like people know exactly what they want and they ain't gonna settle for second best.
No, I disagree. I don't think people know what they want. People like to say they do, but sometimes when they are confronted with it, a lot of the time people get scared of actually seeing in front of their eyes what they really wanted, and they tend to run away from it. That's what I've noticed anyway. An example you gave about girls liking bad guys,
yes.
A lot of girls say they love bad guys.
Yes.
But like Anna said, they end up wanting to change them.
Okay. All right, and
so that contradicts their initial like in that environment.
Of course, and it's to try and change a man after you've seen what he's about is going to be a difficult thing, you know.
Oh, definitely.
It's going to be a difficult thing. I think Anna's got something to say to you while you're on the line.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to say, you know, with all these tick boxes, what about these online datings? Because that's supposed to filter out, isn't it? You're supposed to be more compatible with these online dating because you're supposed to almost match because you both have similar interests or similar likes or dislikes. So isn't that something that would help people get together easier?
You know what? I don't believe so because, I haven't personally used like online dating. I'm not one of the people who actually need to do that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I prefer just meeting people spontaneous moments and just like vibing with them. That's just how I do things. Mm-hmm. But what I tend to find is that nowadays people are still hung up on their daydream or their childhood dream about what they wanted their first relationship to be like. And when it doesn't turn out to be like that, they then have these extraordinary criteria that they want filled that doesn't get filled because a lot of people are hurt and damaged products in terms of being an emotional people. A lot of us get hurt and not even want to try and be as loving as what it would require to have a good and lasting relationship. So a lot of the time it's because we're damaged products emotionally that we can't attain a good, healthy relationship.
Okay, thank you, Lionheart, for your input on tonight's show. I appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to the rest of the show as well, man. I'm tuned in.
Wicked. Thank you again.
Thank you.
No problem. That's Lionheart. A lot of people are daydreaming. And of course, everybody wants a certain type of relationship. They have it already in their head, you know, what type of woman they would want, you know, and I'm sure females will know that, you know what, this is the type of guy I would like. You know, you look on TV and you see, I forgot his real name, Lufa. You know, that sexy man there. You know, and the amount of women, ooh, Lufa this, Lufa that. You know, they're fantasizing about Lufa. Let's get real tonight. Yeah? Anyone out there, this is the last show for 3 weeks. If you've got something to say, is it hard to find a good relationship these days? The number to call is 07818 361 551 or text, Facebook or Twitter. You know what? I was frustrated, and frustration came into my life because I'm not the most handsome man, but I'm okay. And I found out that a good man like me found it difficult to find a woman. And I scratched my head.
Why did you find it difficult to find a woman?
Because, like the callers say, there was a certain type of woman. I wasn't going to settle for any and anybody just to say I'm with somebody to make everyone, because everyone keeps saying, Judge, how comes you're not in a relationship? And the frustration started to get to me, but I'll get back to that story in a minute. We have another caller.
Oh no, we got text.
Oh, we got a text.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on.
So, it is hard to get good quality anything these days. It's hard to get good quality anything these days, but that just means you are to treasure a good relationship more when you have one. Appreciate your gem and never take their goodness for granted. We need more forums for sapiosexuals to network and mingle. They are hard to access. No name.
No name. Okay, thank you very much for that text. Thank you. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. You know, this is a topic that most people can get involved in. It's the debate that most people have had some type of relationship. You know, I'm finding out that a lot of people are starting to break up easy these days. You know, the hard work. If you look on our parents, Anna, you know, a lot of parents went through thick and thin. You know, they stick through the hard times and the good times.
Yeah, but are we saying they were good relationships? Because
That's
I think
true.
what you're finding these days is that those types of relationships, there were things that were hidden or not necessarily voiced. So, and everyone had a role to play in that family unit. So if they had kids, they didn't feel that, you know, the mother may have been unhappy, the wife may have been unhappy, but wouldn't necessarily do anything about it, because
They would keep it all indoors.
Yeah, the most important thing was being there for the children. And also sometimes it was, or when the children grows up, or when the children are older, maybe, you know, we'll separate. But now, I feel now, people are feeling a little bit more confident that...
When you say people, I'm going to stir it up a little bit because it's going too easy. I'm going to target the women.
Right.
Because I think back in those days, as you did say, and it's true, I think the women were a bit more reserved, a bit more quiet. They wanted to save face, you know, for the families and the community that they were in. They would stick with the man even though he wasn't a good man. But nowadays, these days...
So do you think there are men out there right now, in this modern time, that find women that can voice their opinions and communicate assertively intimidating? Or do you think that there are men out there that find women that way intimidating?
Well, I tell you this, live on the Big Debate Show, I will say this to you, Anna, and I'll say it to my viewers. There's two types of men, maybe 3 or 4. But the judge, I like a strong woman. I don't want a weak woman. But there's men out there who cannot deal with the strength of a woman. You know, they want the ones that they can push around, treat them like a little puppet. And when they find themselves backed in a corner with a strong woman, they can't handle them. So they escape. You know, I've got a lot of guys who said to me, they can't take the noise. You know, a lot of women out there, the nagging and all this, they want the quiet ones. The ones who don't say much. The ones who, but what type of woman is that? She's not free. What do you think, my viewers? Come on, have your say on tonight's show. Is it hard to find a good relationship these days? Is it hard?
See, think back in teenage days. You didn't have ticking the boxes. You didn't.
I mean, but when you was a teenager, were you looking for a serious relationship, or were you...
6 months, a year, 2 years, that's quite serious to some people.
That's what, as a teenager?
Yeah, as a teenager.
My word, sometimes a month.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes a month.
Do you reckon that because now, people our age, possibly, have more responsibility to feel that they have to have this list?
I don't think it's a responsibility. I think it deals with...
Oh no, I think it is. Especially people that have children. Because if you think about it, if they have kids, they're they will think, oh, okay, well, do they go with somebody that doesn't have kids or have kids?
Yeah, well, when you're dealing with kids, but I will go to I will say it's with experience, especially with women and men, if they've had quite a few relationships or they've had a long-term relationship, they kind of know what kind of man or woman they want. And it's to do with experiences. If you've only had one person in your life, it's hard to, you can't gauge. But if you've had quite a few, you could have 4 or 5, you can say, all right, this guy was good, but there were certain things I didn't like about him, but that guy was good, but he was really nice, but there was something missing, and I think it's experience.
I have a friend who obviously when this topic came about, I was asking a lot of my friends, doing my little research, and she's been with her partner since she was 16, and she's kind of like my age now.
I take my hat off.
And she's very happy, and they've got 3 kids, married,
yes.
and saying is that they've gone through all the phases. That she's not saying it's always great, but they've gone through things together to help build, to help shape, to improve, and they've just worked together as a team, and I find that quite inspiring.
It's inspiring, and I take my hat off to your friend if she's tuning in. But let me say this to you, if you're tuning in, that is a rarity. It is so rare. And your friend is one of those ones that is out there, but it's very rare. It's hard. Age 16 and still in the same relationship.
Do you think people give up too easily nowadays then? When things sort of start rocking the boat?
When it starts to rock,
Well, they say that mortgage, having children, what's the other one? Like maybe living together. Those are the sort of fundamental things that can make or break a relationship.
Yes, it can, but I think people will work harder at a relationship if they've got ties, meaning kids. If they've got kids plus a mortgage, if you ain't got no kids together, no mortgage, no ties, she's renting, I think it's easier to say, this ain't working. But when you've got kids involved, I think people work a little bit harder. What do you think, my viewers? What do you think? The number to call is 07818 361 551. It's the judge for the big debate show with Anna. It's the last show in the series. What do you think? Is it hard to find a good relationship these days? We have another. Okay, Anna?
So the previous message that we had earlier that I read out, I think that was from Ellie, was it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think we've got another one.
We have another text. Okay.
Have a little read of this.
Have a little read.
Let's go.
Keep the texts coming.
So, here we go. I think it comes down to how picky a person is on what they want. I believe it may be easier for a more open-minded person to find a good relationship. And going back to what Anna mentioned about dating sites, personally, somebody like me in every way would drive me absolutely crazy. I want a person. Oh, so we're missing some text. Oh,
it's gone?
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, half a text is better than no text. Yeah? Half a text is better than no text. And
okay, so what this person's trying to say is that if it was somebody that was the same as them, it would drive them crazy. So they're actually not looking for somebody that's exactly like
opposites
them.
Attract. I've heard that many times. Opposites do attract. I mean, it does in some cases. In other cases, it don't. But I will say this. I mean, if I wasn't married, this online thing is not for me, because I've never tried it before, and I don't think I would. It's very easy to sit there and type away. You know what? People getting lazy, Anna. People getting lazy.
It's true.
They're getting lazy.
Some
Very
people
lazy.
don't have that time to socialise. So using these sites is an area because, they've got responsibility, kids, careers. They may not have that time to be able to go out and socialise. So, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm more of a face-to-face type of person. I like to communicate face-to-face. I'd rather get to know people when I'm talking to them over the phone or, you know, like this. I think social media or dating sites can almost, I don't know, structure it so that person, you know, expressions count to me. You know, looking at somebody's face, looking at their eyes count to me. To me, that's communication, you know, body language.
Yeah, but when you talk about online, I'm not an expert on online, but if I was to go online, Anna, I'm putting everything nice about me.
Of course.
Look at me, look at this, what I can do and this and that, and it all looks good. I'm sure there's not one person who dates online is going to say, look, I've got some bad habits here. Everyone is good online.
Yeah, but
everyone
people
is
would do
right.
that face to face as well, though. People would do, like, for example, on your first, like, if two people went out on a date for the first time, you're not going to talk about your flaws. You're not going to talk about the things the bad habits that you have.
True.
You're going to present yourself across to have all the good qualities
But
about
can't you sniff out a rat, Anna?
Well,
can't you sniff out a
it's
rat on the
better
first
to-
date?
It's better. That's why I would say personally, face to face would be better because you could. Whereas dating sites, not necessarily. That's why you have to meet. You can't rely on text messages or online dating messages to almost say, yeah, this guy's or this girl's perfect because you've not even met yet.
Exactly.
So you have to meet.
And I've heard some bad things about online dating, especially when it comes to men. I'm not trying to put it down. I'm sure there's people out there who've done a lot of online dating.
My friend recently got catfish. That's the first time I've sort of heard about this whole theory about catfish because they put themselves across or they use a different picture and it's not them at all.
No. And
It's terrible.
yeah, and I've heard a lot of men going on these online dating and next minute, you know, it's like a game to them. You know, from this person, that, but that's another topic. We're not talking about online dating. We are talking about, is it hard to find a good relationship these days? Is it hard? Are you a good man? Are you a good woman? Are you getting frustrated? Or is it a case you've just given up? Some people say I've given up, or I'm not even looking for a relationship these days. It's men, they're too much hard work. Too much hard work. I don't trust them. Same like women.
Would that be because, well, I mean, for a person to say something along them lines would be because they've been hurt previously?
Could be.
So it's coming from an emotional reaction of what they've had in the past.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think people should be bringing past relationships into their new relationship. You know, you can't start by, you know, thinking about your past boyfriend or girlfriend or relationships, how it went. If it's a new start, that's what it is. It's a new start.
But can't you gauge it? Can't you gauge your new relationship from your old one? Can't you say that's the standard you are looking for?
Yeah, no.
This person did do some wonderful things to you, Anna. You know?
No, everybody should have standards anyway. But I mean, I've got a couple of friends that have a lot of ticking the boxes. Does he tick the box? Does he tick the box? You know, and then I just think, well, don't get me wrong, I have my tick boxes, but I maybe it's because I'm a sociable person. I don't necessarily meet people first time and take them that first time. I need to create a relationship, whether it's going to be anything else long term or not. I need to build a relationship, build rapport with somebody to be able to define whether that person's going to be good for me or not, or whether I'm going to be good for them.
So it sounds like it's all about time. You got to give a person time, you know, and we're talking about, is it hard to find a good relationship? I've been to clubs and I've been to places where I said to myself, if I was single, to try and approach a woman, you know, sometimes they're not giving off the right vibe. It's kind of hard. And women nowadays, I mean, one of the callers, Lionheart, says they don't know what they want. People think what they want.
You mean that they think they know what they want, but actually they don't? I agree. I think sometimes I do agree with that.
They don't know what they want. We've got another caller. Hello, you're live on the Big Debate Show.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, what would you like? What's your name? Sorry.
My name's Amy.
Hello.
I'm calling from London. It's Lisa.
Hello, Lisa. What would you like to say on tonight's show?
Yeah, I've been listening to the debate, which is really good. I'm really enjoying it. I'd just like to say that I think it can be difficult to find a good relationship.
What, nowadays? Do you think it's hard nowadays?
Yeah, definitely, because I think we have a lot of expectations. I think sometimes people are looking for perfection, and that doesn't exist. I think sometimes people don't want to work at a relationship, and you have to work at it. There has to be compromise. There has to be give and take. And, especially if you've got children as well, I think you have to be very careful in terms of the person that you introduce into your child's life. And I think there's so many external factors that affect a relationship that it makes it difficult.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. You made me smile when you said perfection, because I tell you something. Anyone who's trying to look for that, they ain't gonna get that. But I like what you said tonight on tonight's show, and I appreciate your call. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
I don't know. Some people would say
Perfection? What is perfection?
No. Well, again,
My word.
unique to every individual. Some people might say, "Oh, great, he's got 2 kids. He's had an experience in a relationship. Great, he's perfect."
Yeah.
Whereas somebody that may not have kids or may have not had a long-term relationship, in their eyes, wouldn't be perfect.
But I would say perfection is every single box, Hannah. You think of it. You find
but
a man.
every single box is different for everybody.
All right, but if a man ticks every box you want, Anna, ain't that perfection?
No, I
every
don't know.
single
See,
box.
I
I don't think there's a woman. I'm married, so all my boxes are ticked. But I will say this: to tick every single box, you ain't gonna find that. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm right.
I think you
The
also
Big
have
Debate
to
Show.
you have to almost accept their flaws
You
as
have
well.
to.
Their insecurities, their troubles. Those are things that you're going to have to accept to be able to accept that person.
But that takes time.
Well, yeah, again,
I'm looking
building
for the
a
bad.
relationship.
I'm looking for the bad habits. It's all right because everyone starts off nice, Anna. Everyone.
The honeymoon period.
The honeymoon. Oh, everyone likes the honeymoon period, don't they?
I think we have a text.
We have a text. Okay, we have
Shall we
another
have a
text.
text?
Everyone loves the honeymoon period.
We'll go back to that
Yeah,
bit.
we go back to the honeymoon.
Okay,
after.
we've got here too many images promoting free for all sex as the norm. Too easy to have friends with too easy to have friends with benefits. Sex is the primary objective. Compatibility takes 3rd or 4th place.
Wow. Friends with benefits. Are you one of the friends? I'm so
Is
bad.
that so basically that person's saying that
Yeah.
the objective almost is to initiate sex straight away before even considering compatibility.
I don't think there's a man alive who doesn't go out and look at a woman and think she looks really good. That sex appeal is important in a relationship. I'm speaking as a man, the sex appeal. But it takes, when you're a deep thinking man, it takes more than that. But of course, if you want sex as a woman, I think it's quite easy for women to have sex. If they want to go out and have sex, I think it's easier for a woman to go out and say, there's a good chance I'm going to have sex tonight, than a man. But it all depends what you want in a relationship. And we're talking about a good relationship tonight. Sex is very important. It's very healthy. But I think it's more
Obviously, when you meet somebody or you're out with your friends and you see, a good-looking girl, there has to there's going to be chemistry. People don't necessarily turn around and say, wow, he looks like he's got a good personality on him, and you talk to him. Yeah. That's later on, maybe. Yeah. However, again, that's superficial stuff. Once you get to know the person can be attractive, but then they can be a complete dickhead. Yeah. So, sorry, I shouldn't have, that was maybe a bit harsh, but sometimes, some people that are attractive.
I am glad it's after 9 o'clock because, like I say, this is the big debate show, and Anna, glad the kids are all asleep. But I would say, listen, too many good people are coming up to me and saying, Judge, I can't find nobody. There's no one out there. And sometimes their cap is a little bit too high. I'm not telling you to bring it down a little bit because it has to feel right for you. But you know what I find out? Especially when it comes to women, Anna. They always want a man to make them laugh. That humor. They want a funny man.
I'm funny.
Yeah?
I'm the funny one.
You're funny?
Yeah, I'm the funny
So how
one.
come you haven't made me laugh yet? 07818 361 551. It's the Judge with Anna for the big debate show. We have 20 minutes left on that's all.
It's gone quick.
On the last show. Last show, we've got 20 minutes
All
left.
I'm going to say as well about this is sometimes I think if you're not happy with yourself, you will find it difficult to find somebody out there because, you're kind of going with your own sort of insecurities, you're making a prejudgment. That person's, oh, no, I better not go near that guy because, he approached me this way.
This way. We have another caller. Hello. Welcome to the Big Debate Show. Hello?
Thank you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What is your name, please, if you don't mind?
My name's Katrina.
Nice to have you on the show, Katrina. What would you like to say?
You're talking about it's finding it difficult to obviously find a relationship.
Is it hard to find? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, with the generation now, I think we have such a high expectation. And then when we do actually meet somebody, I think the pretenses are so high, they pretend to be somebody that they're not. And then after dating them, after seeing obviously
the bad
all
side,
the good things, like the honeymoon period, so to speak, and then you start to find out how they actually really are, and then you think, okay, well, maybe this is not for me, because they start to show their true colours.
Yes. But I would say to you, that's both sides. That's women too.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes,
yeah? That's women too. Everyone can put on their best side to start off with, and most people do. And would you say it's time for people to lower the hat, or are you saying, keep that grade high? Are you saying people are trying?
Never lower your
certain boxes has certain. I think there's different boxes for different people. I think values are, a big factor of trying to build in some sort of relationship. A lot of people may not have certain values trying to be in a relationship or building a relationship.
Okay.
And then a lot of people have, say, for example, like the prettier side of things, they like all the glamour, they like all the show stuff.
All right. Anna would like to say something to you before you go.
Yeah.
I don't think people need to lower their standards. I think people should keep your high standards.
Keep it high.
Yeah, keep it high. But I think you need to, again, some people restrict time, as in like they have this almost very closed window. Like I have to now at this time so I can do this. Just make friends. Be friendly with people.
Just make.
Do you not agree?
I think. Yeah, you're right there. I think a lot of people they're on that also varies on their time frame. If people are older, then they're probably thinking, you know what, I'm getting older. I need to settle down.
Time's running out.
If you were younger, then maybe, they're a lot more free. There's no time restriction.
Well, thank you for Sorry, go on.
I'm just saying, as you get older, I think you'd think that people would want to settle down, and they want to settle down, so they think they've got a certain amount of time left. So, for example, to settle down, and they're quickly to wanting to jump in a relationship.
True, that is a very true point. It's to do with age too, but I like to say thank you for your phone call.
No problem.
And I hope you keep tuning into the Big Debate Show.
I will be tuning in.
We will be back.
The show, yeah.
Thank you.
It's good listening to you guys.
Another call.
Thank you. Okay, that's... You know what? We're having some good callers tonight.
And it's a good mix, male and female.
Male and female for the last show. I like that. Don't hesitate. Don't wait for the last minute.
I just wanted to say about this whole, time restriction.
Yes.
Now, you can have a relationship with somebody. Okay, initially you have the honeymoon period, you get on, you build a good relationship initially. Then circumstances and different factors come in, and the relationship may break down. Now, I don't think you should really, obviously most people would be upset. However, afterwards, you should take and learn from that last relationship and, try and improve the next relationship. Not wonder why didn't it work.
True.
Oh my God, I'm this age now and I need to have kids. And,
I'm in my late 40s.
Yeah,
and
I think if it's...
And I will add to that because I remember when, like I said, when I was single, and I was single for 3 years, and I could have just rushed into any relationship, and think, oh, my friends are settling down, look at me, I've got a lot to offer too. Why can't I settle down?
3 messages.
3 messages, oh my word. All right, we will get with them in a minute. And I said to myself, you know what? All because my friends have all settled down, yeah? And everyone's happy. And I'm all by myself. I'm not going to rush into any relationship if it doesn't suit me. We have 15 minutes left on the show. We've got a few texts, and it's going to read out a few texts.
Okay,
they're coming in.
Right, so people find it harder to find the one because as we get older, we all seem to bring previous issues and baggage from the past into the new one, which is wrong. Things were fresh and new when we were all younger and were learning together for the first time. Now we may have issues that we haven't dealt with that our new partner has to overcome. It's hard. That's from Mr. For Real.
Mr. For Real, that's a really good text.
Okay, so the next one...
That's a good text.
Okay. No, not that one. We read that one already. Paige. So from Paige, would anybody tick all boxes, which is what you said?
True.
And what qualities would you settle for? Everybody is different. And as for staying because of a mortgage or children, that is the worst thing you could do to stay because you love that person and want that relationship. Because I think, for one, what kind of environment would you be creating for your children? And the mortgage is just materialistic.
Thank you, Paige. Thank you. We have another one.
I blame the high expectations in all the Disney princess films and romantic comedies.
Like Frozen. I won't even sing the song. Sorry.
Going back onto Paige's
Paige.
message
She makes
by saying...
that's a good point there.
Yeah. However, I do feel that people stay for those reasons.
Yes.
It isn't right, I agree. I think it's wrong to do that. But people feel very strongly to stay for that reason.
Yes, and I will say there is so many couples out there. There is a lot of couples who stay because of their kids. You know? I mean, it really affects kids. Breakup. Mortgage. There's so many factors. And of course people stay because of certain factors. And that's part of life.
I've got 2 more messages, so let me get these through. So just to add to the point about ticking boxes, We need to understand that a relationship needs time and to grow, to develop and evolve. And there are times that one partner may not have ticked the boxes in the beginning, but with time and growth, the relationship moves up a level to the point where the needs are now met. So yes, I do think that relationships may not start off easy, but the patience and hard work you can develop is a fulfilling relationship.
Beautiful texts tonight.
Okay, next one.
Next text.
To find any relationship would be easy. However, for a lasting and meaningful one is hard. Tried online dating, but the difficulty there is, it's like being one of the many sweets in a candy store.
Too many candy. Too much candy. It's not good for your teeth.
Not good for you.
Not good for you.
When I go out, I've observed that men don't even approach women for a dance these days. I'm old school and wouldn't approach a man. Is this where I'm going wrong?
Okay.
Wait.
Oh.
I believe the initial signals you give out sets the foundation of that relationship.
Yes.
Idris Elba. Fan.
funny. I wish. I'm going to say this. We've had a brilliant range of texts, and I would like to thank everyone who's texting. And I'm going to pick a few of them out right now, and I'm going to say this. First of all, yes, people stay in relationships because of kids, mortgage, they've been together for 20 years, it's habit, they're not happy, but they're still there.
Sometimes even a business,
Even a business. Pharrell said about bringing old baggage into new baggage. Not new baggage.
That's a negative start already.
into a new relationship. And I will say this. If your heart's been broken, to all the men and women out there, if your heart has been broken, Anna, yeah, your heart get hard after that. Especially if you gave all into that relationship. Your heart is it's gonna be a tough one.
Oh yeah, you're vulnerable, aren't you?
For a man, he's gonna have to chip away. For a woman, some men get cold and wicked after their heart has been broken. They don't trust women no more, so they go out on that spending spree.
Well, that's where that whole, again, I'm going from the women's side. I mean, women are perceived sometimes as being bitter or holding on to grudges, and hence the whole, men are this, men are cheats, I can't trust men, because they haven't got over or they haven't healed from the last time they were hurt, or several times they were hurt.
Give a man a chance.
Give a woman a chance.
Give...
Stop it!
Give them a chance. We have another text. Oh my word, they're coming in fast right now, and I'm going to speak so quick because time's running out.
The media sets the standards for many. Actors, actresses, singers set the trends. Married couples are made to look like they have boring sex, boring lives. The longer in a stable relationship, the deeper the depths of intimacy.
And I'm not going to go into anything personal, but the longer you stay with someone, you know exactly what they want in that bedroom, Anna.
Do you?
I was waiting for something.
No.
and it's all to do with getting to know the person, the habits, the bad habits, the good habits. Relationships these days, if it's worth fighting for, it's worth fighting for, but it takes two to tango, because sometimes you've got somebody wants to keep the relationship going and the other person doesn't, or it's just fading away. But I think you've got to be true to yourself, and you have to know exactly what you want out of that relationship. And there's no point just being in it to please the other person, what a lot of people do. Many people are doing it, but sometimes you've got to find out what you want out of that relationship. There's a lot of people that are in happy relationships and a lot of people are unhappy, and it's really hard. It's hard out there to find a good relationship.
Again, I'm going to have to say that good relationship is always perceived by others. Because I don't think, do you go into your relationship and go, yeah, I've got a good relationship? You don't advertise your relationship to be a good relationship. Well, when I've been in relationships and people have said, oh my God, that's, you guys are great, you've got such a great couple. I have to turn around and say, well, actually, it needs work. There's always work. It's not good just because it's good. It's a development, it's progress.
But don't you think a lot of couples out there, when they're outside the house, they put on this act, the hand, and they're walking down the road or the street, and everyone's thinking,
that's
what
not an act.
Well, no, I'm saying I'm sure there's a lot of couples out there who put on this thing where, geez, they look good together. But behind closed doors, we don't know what's really going on.
No, I agree. And behind closed doors, we don't know. But I'm an affectionate, passionate person. So when I'm with somebody, I show it to them. So to me, it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks.
Lucky him.
I'm just that kind of person. That's how I show that I'm into my guy, or that I'm into my relationship.
Definitely.
My undivided attention goes there, regardless
good.
of what everybody else thinks. If it's perceived as good, great. If you don't like it, I don't care.
And we've got 5 minutes to go. And I tell you something, you must don't worry about other people. I've never been one to preach or teach, but the relationship is between two people. Yeah, and as long as you feel that you're happy, but you're gonna have ups, and there's no honey. You gotta squeeze a little lemon too, because sometimes you get so much honey that there's no relationship that's gonna be honey. There's gonna be the bitter times, the ups and downs. And it takes a lot of strength, especially these days. As you said, a lot of people are breaking up. They're getting back together, breaking up, getting back together. It's like, it's hard out there, Anna.
I like the honey. Always bring the honey in, though. Not too much lemon. Obviously, work with the lemon, but bring honey in. Always.
Well, come on. I have a sweet tooth, but with the sweet tooth, of course, with every relationship, there comes a little dip. And if you can ride that little dip and bring it back to where the honey is, find the bees, Anna, find the bees. I'm looking for the bees.
Okay. I think honey should always be in the relationship.
Yes. My viewers, Anna's having, and I'm sure you're having a lot of fun today. It's been serious.
A good topic,
it's a good topic.
Judge?
I try to choose ones that everyone can get involved with. I'm not so much into politics too much. When you've had a hard day at work and you want, tune into the Big Debate Show. We've got about 3 minutes left, and it's time to wind down the show, Anna.
Really? Already?
Wind down. It's an hour. That's all we get. And I tell you something. I must say this. It's been a pleasure having you on board.
It has, hasn't it?
This is your, if you may say so yourself, this is your third show.
Yes, it is.
And I have to say, for all my viewers, Anna will be back on the Big Debate Show for season 2. And season 2 will be starting the 4th of May. So we're going to have a little time out. I'm still going to be posting things on YouTube. We'll be going on the road, getting the Big Debate Show known to everyone out there. It's an easy show to get involved in, as you can see. I'm not a professor, just a normal man. But it's been a pleasure having you on board. To all, I'm going to take this opportunity to really thank AJLR Media. That company has done wonders for the Big Debate Show. The studio, the sound, everything. I know people have had a few problems with the live streaming, but as you can see, it's very hard for us to control that. But I would like to thank AJLR Media, and I would like to thank Bloodfire Studios and Rockabessa, because that's where the Big Debate Show is. It's at Rockabessa. And talking about Rockabessa, when we come back for season 2, I will be announcing in time the promotional party that was going to be right here. And I hope everyone, once I announce it, please come down. I'd like to see your faces.
Exciting.
I love faces. I'm not an online man. Faces. So we have a minute left. Is there anything you'd like to say, Anna?
this was a busy topic today, I think, and I just want to apologise. I had a lot of friends that had texted me that I wasn't able to sort of read out your messages, so I do apologise for that. You know, make sure that you're tuning in for the next time that we're on. And you know, we'll make sure that we give the information out. And what I'll do next time is tell my friends to text in on the number, that we advertise when the show's on. But yeah, no, it's been exciting. I've enjoyed each of these sessions. So have I passed the audition period?
You are, I will say, live on the Big Debate Show. Anna is the official co-presenter, and it's a pleasure. And just for all the people who've texted in, sometimes we can't read out all the texts. Try and phone in. I love to hear your voice.
We like to talk.
We love to talk. That's what the Big Debate Show is all about. So on behalf of all the staff from Bloodfire Studios, AJLR Media, Rockabessa, Anna, the judge, but especially everyone who took time out to watch the show and to tune in, a big thank you. This is season 1 over and done, but we will be back on the 4th of May. Same time, 9 o'clock to 10 p.m. If there's anything you like to say, just hook me up on my Facebook page, The Big Debate Show, anything, Twitter, or even my website, www.thebigdebateshow.com. Please get involved in a show that is for the people. Once again, thank you very much, and good night. And just remember, we all have a voice. Good night.
Good night.
See you soon.